Good evening, Bahamas. On the broadcast tonight, the Progressive Liberal Party moves its campaign machinery into Exuma. Plus,
the Free National Movement hosts a mass rally here in Great Exuma. That story is coming up tonight, straight ahead.
And just how much do you know about your constituency's candidates? Find out what one organization is doing for you to learn more.
News is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles. It was a big night politically on Exuma last night as both the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement held rallies on the island. It's the third time since the election season kicked into high gear that both major political parties went head-to-head. The PLP ultimately drew the larger crowd there. Tonight we have team coverage from Exuma, beginning with our Kyle Joaquin at the PLP's rally.
Hitting his famous shuffle 3 times, a visibly happy Prime Minister Christie said Exuma has to remain gold and support the party's candidate, businessman Chester Cooper.
We have some of the highest net worth individuals, meaning some of the richest people in the world living in Exuma and in the keys of Exuma. Our job is to take advantage of the presence of all these people in Exuma and to do more with them. And you have a candidate who will become a big part of the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
But the Prime Minister this morning woke up to backlash following this one statement.
Listen, it's going so good now, God can't stop me now.
To put it all into context, during Christie's speech, audio from the microphone had dipped, an issue that occurred throughout the night. And when it came back,
into a shining example of what should happen. Listen, it's going so good now, God can't stop me now.
It is believed the Prime Minister was referring to the technical difficulties experienced with the sound system during his speech, instead of the suggestion that even God couldn't prevent a PLP victory at the polls. Nevertheless, the moment has since sparked uproar on social media with people coming down on the Prime Minister. But the night was about the PLP's candidate for Exuma.
And I want you to know that this isn't about Chester Cooper. This is about the advancement, the progress, and the empowerment of Exuma. This one is for you, Exuma. We're going to move forward. We're going to move together.
Several of the PLP's heavy hitters like V. Alfred Gray and Ken Dorset also took the stage.
On the 10th of May, let's return PLP in Chester Cooper to the Progressive Liberal Party list of successes. PLP! PLP! As they are counting them votes, all I want here on election day coming on that radio is Cooper, 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 Cooper.
A singing Brave Davis and Jerome Fitzgerald were also there to back the Exuma businessman.
Exuma is getting a gem of a gentleman. He is a son of the soil. A man who was bred and grown right here, went on and made himself something special in this country.
Chester Cooper. Chester Cooper. Boy, we are so proud that you are the candidate for the Exumas and Ragged Island. An excellent man has joined our team. You know Chester, and you know him. You know how hard he worked to become the man he is today.
Loving you well.
Reporting for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, after a week filled with controversy for Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald, as private emails between him and Bahamar developer Sarkis Merlian were made public, the F&M leader is once again demanding that the minister step down or be fired. With more, here's Georgie O'Bain.
Here at his party's mass rally here in Exuma, Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis called the governing Progressive Liberal Party a political business only concerned about the enrichment of certain politicians and their families. As Minnis arrived at the Exuma International Airport and exited a private plane with his wife, deputy leader, and party chairman, he was greeted by the island's administrators and FNM supporters. Supporters then led him on a motorcade throughout the streets of Exuma that eventually clashed with a PLP motorcade happening at the same time. That did not stop party supporters, and neither did heavy rains that sent them scattering for shelter. Supporters stood and waited to hear from their party leader, who immediately attacked the PLP.
Christie thinks he was born with a silver tongue. The truth is that he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Christie thinks that he is entitled to rule for as long as he wants. The PLP high commands are arrogant elitists who feels a sense of entitlement. They think that only certain people from certain backgrounds can aspire to lead our Bahamas.
The recent leaked email suggested that Fitzgerald sought to secure millions of dollars in brokerage, trucking, and limousine contracts at Bahamar from early 2013. Minnis said now that Fitzgerald has admitted to seeking business from Bahamar, he must either step down or be fired.
We now see that Jerome Fitzgerald wasn't telling the truth about trying to do business at Bahamar while he was negotiating on behalf of the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He first denied this, but the truth has come out. He should either resign or be fired. He should be fired for what he did.
Fitzgerald's emails violated cabinet and ministry procedures, stating that a minister must not solicit or accept from any person any remuneration or benefit from the discharge of benefits of his office. Minnis then called into question the dealings of the Attorney General regarding her interest in Bahamar.
Did Christie know about what Jerome was doing at Bahamar? You know, some other senior PLPs have family business connections at Bahamar also, including the Attorney General, Alison Maynard Gibson. Isn't it something that the man who read other people's emails on the floor of the House of Assembly had his own emails leaked? What goes around comes around.
Reporting for our news from Exuma, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Meantime, while endorsing his party's candidate for the Exuma and Ragged Island seat, FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis told scores of supporters who turned out to the mass rally in Exuma that their needs have been ignored for far too long and that his candidate, Navarro Bowe, will be their change agent. Bowe goes up against Exuma native PLP candidate Chester Cooper.
Many of you are deeply concerned about the Georgetown Hospital. There are issues regarding proper equipment, adequate staff, and fulfilling pharmaceutical needs. The closure of the other clinics, like the Steventon Clinic, means that many people have to drive for miles for minor medical issues. There is a need for improved dental care, and to increase the frequency of doctors' visit to the Keys. As a doctor and as former Minister of Health, your healthcare needs will be front and center in my government.
Minnis told Exumians that their island is filled with vast potential, but they have been ignored and held back by the PLP. He promised to bring world-class facilities to the island.
The Exuma International Airport is in great need of a new terminal, expanded areas for customs and immigration, a much baggage claim, and proper parking facility. Given the tourism properties here and the potential of Exuma, your airport does not serve you well. The FNM will fix this. You have an excellent candidate in Navarro Bow.
Both Bow and Minnis said they are confident that Exuma will be in the winning column for the FNM. Well, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis says the Progressive Liberal Party will not be deterred by the scandal surrounding its marathon candidate, Jerome Fitzgerald. The DPM's assurances come despite the fact that Fitzgerald admitted that he solicited former Bahamar developer Sarkis Merlian. Jasmine Brown has more in this story.
On Wednesday, news broke that Fitzgerald had lobbied the former developer in a series of emails sent in 2013. Fitzgerald admitted that he sought contracts from Bahamar on his ill father's behalf for his family's business. The emails reveal that he requested brokerage, trucking, and limousine contracts worth millions of dollars from Bahamar. Davis was asked if he feels the revelation will affect the party at the polls.
Well, it's not brought a dark shadow over me, and I'm sure it's not brought a dark shadow to the hundreds of Bahamians that are now working.
Davis says he believes the leak of the emails was politically motivated based on the timing of their release. As for Fitzgerald, Davis says they are rallying behind their candidate.
He's our candidate for Marathon, and we expect him to win that seat. That's what the party's interested in at this time.
So what about calls for his resignation given the emails?
Who?
What about the calls for his resignation given the emails? Has this been discussed? Is this a consideration?
That's not been discussed, not up for consideration.
The DPM added that the email scandal did not overshadow the soft opening of Bahamar, the stalled resort the Christie administration has worked feverishly to get opened and operational.
When I walked through them, walked to the podium today, not to the podium, but my seating arrangement, and saw the look on the faces of Bahamians who are employed and who are working, their hope and expectations for their own future. And when I think about the future of those who are yet to be employed, why should that be a dark one to me? We have to remain focused on what this means to us as a people and as a nation. Right, this is creating jobs and it's creating opportunities for Bahamians.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still ahead tonight, another man gunned down in an overnight shooting. That story and more when our news returns.